At 6:12 a.m., on a winter morning cold enough to frost the inside of the windows, a woman swung her legs out of bed and placed her bare feet on the floor. The tiles were ice cold. Anyone else would have winced. She didn't. She felt pressure, weight, balance, but no pain. She never had. She stood up, walked to the bathroom, and noticed faint swelling along her ankle. She paused, studied it for a second, then shrugged. By noon, she would be limping, by evening, bleeding internally, and she would never feel a thing. Her name was already famous in medical journals long before it appeared in an obituary. She was born like any other child, screaming under bright hospital lights, but within months, doctors noticed something strange. Vaccinations didn't bother her. She didn't cry after falls. At 2 years old, she bit through her tongue while teething and kept playing, blood pooling unnoticed. At 4, she placed her hand on a hot stove and stared at the burn, curious, silent. Her parents rushed her to the hospital convinced she was in shock. She wasn't. She simply didn't hurt. At first, they thought she was unusually tough, then unusually brave. Then they realized she was something else entirely. By age 6, specialists were involved. Neurologists, geneticists. Words her parents had never heard before began to dominate conversations. Nociceptors, nerve signaling, congenital disorders. Finally, a diagnosis emerged: congenital insensitivity to pain, a condition so rare that many doctors go their entire careers without seeing a single case. Her nervous system could detect heat, cold, pressure, but the alarm system was missing. Pain never arrived to the outside world. It sounded like a superpower. No headaches, no cramps, no toothaches, no fear of injury. Friends joked that she was invincible. Teachers admired her calm, but beneath the surface, her life became a daily negotiation with danger. Pain, doctors explained, wasn't punishment, it was protection, and she had none. By 10 o'clock a.m. on a bright spring day when she was 17, she sat in a sterile hospital room while researchers spoke about her in low, careful voices. Electrodes traced nerve pathways that should have screamed and didn't. Scans showed silence where warning signals should live. She became a subject, a case, a possibility. They told her body might help millions one day, unlock pain-free medicine, safer surgeries, better treatments. They didn't tell her what they didn't understand. She learned survival through routines. Every night, she inspected her body inch by inch, looking for bruises, swelling, discoloration. She set alarms to remind herself to eat, to rest, to check her joints. She wore gloves while cooking, shoes in the shower, protective pads under her clothes. She learned to read interact signs the way sailors read the stars. Fatigue meant infection. Nausea meant internal trouble. Dizziness meant danger. Still, things slipped through. She fractured bones and kept using them. She walked on sprains until joints collapsed. She developed infections that went unnoticed until fevers spiked. Pain would have stopped her. Pain would have warned her. Silence didn't. Doctors followed her for decades. Papers were written. Conferences cited her case. Her nerves were mapped, remapped, and debated. Mutations were identified, some known, some never seen before. Proteins that failed to fire, pathways that ended too early. Yet no single explanation emerged. Her body broke the rules, and no one could fully explain how or why.